Hello everybody, welcome to another Richard Head Longbows video. Forgive me, I'm pretty tired, it's Friday, it's the end of the week. There's been a few things on my mind, a few things that crop up in the world of social media, the internet. Ha! What a joy! What a joy it is! I have had an interesting question on Facebook. It came through a while ago and I sort of answered it in the way that I normally do answer this question, because it's a question we get a lot. It's a question of advice, which we obviously get asked about advice quite a lot. I'll read it out to you. Now, I'm only 16. Now, I have an interest in bow and arrow making. I am just starting off and hoping to make a career out of bow and arrow making. I was hoping you could give me some pointers. Now, we do get asked that a lot, but as I say, it's usually people who are older, perhaps it's a second career. Perhaps they lost a job, been made redundant, coming into sort of early retirement, or simply fancy a change. Certainly those people who want to make a career of it. Now, usually my advice is much the same as I gave to this young person, that well, do what you want to do. If that's what you want to do, great. I mean, archery has grown humongously, as I've mentioned before in other videos, particularly over the last 10 years, as far as numbers of people who are actually making bows and arrows for a living. And that's only been made possible because of the increase in numbers of people doing archery, and certainly traditional archery, which has increased again amazingly. Just incredible. So my advice to those sorts of people, usually, yeah, that's what you want to do, that's great. I think that's half the battle, and this was one of the things I said to this young person, which is I admire him at the age of 16. He knows what he wants to do. I'm 40, I still don't know what I want to do. Certainly didn't know what I wanted to do at 16, or at least I thought I did. As I say, so it's kind of been bothering me since, as I answered him in the only way I know how, which is to say there are no schools. It's not like you pick any other sort of career or subject. There's a university degree or something you can take in it to help you with that sort of thing. And I, as I say, it's been bothering me. I've been sort of at a loss to really say how to respond to somebody who's at that point of their life. And it just reminded me, who was I when I was 16? What did I want to do? Where did I want to be? What was I doing? I can actually remember. I left school and I got my dream job, doing what I wanted to do. But I just fell into it. I was very lucky. The thing with bow making is the chances of falling into it and being lucky are unlikely, and you can't tell someone that unless you're a Londoner. Be lucky. Then I suppose you can give someone that advice, but it's fairly trite and not entirely helpful. So yeah, it's been bothering me a bit, but I wish him luck. I really do. I told him, like I told other people, you need to study it being archery. You need to know how to shoot. You need to know what a bow is. You need to read all the books that you can possibly get your hands on and understand that all those books are going to contradict themselves. So ultimately you will have to find your own way. Learn from others if you can, if you are lucky enough to be able to be apprenticed to somebody, or even just spend some time with a bowyer if they have the time, which increasingly we don't, to be able to give you that sort of help. But yeah, I wish you luck. I'm obviously not going to mention his name, but you know who you are, and I really do. At 16, that's amazing. It's absolutely amazing, and I think is indicative of where traditional archery has gone and where it is going. And I think, yeah, amazing. Absolutely amazing. One or two other things that have cropped up on the interweb. Pricing and how to price your equipment and how people respond to that. I think really me and my father should do a video on that, on how you properly do the breakdown of how you price up bows. I was quite disturbed to see some of the vitriol and hyperbole doled out to some people who advertise their equipment. I mean, this is another new thing which we haven't really started doing yet, where people are using Facebook very much as a medium for advertising and selling their goods rather than necessarily going through the route of having a website. And that's great, but the the culture surrounding Facebook does mean that often the response to someone posting something is to comment on it rather than to just simply say yes, I want to buy it, or to just not comment at all. If you don't want to buy it, you're not interested in it, you don't like the look of it, you don't have to say. Just, if you want to buy it, buy it. If you don't, leave it alone. You know, and if it's not for you, it's not for you. But I think questioning people's pricing it's a bit odd. It's a bit odd. If you don't like the price that somebody's selling something at, then perhaps it's not for you. Perhaps leave it for somebody else, or to try and understand why they charge what they do, because maybe they've spent a long time learning how to do what they do. Maybe they are using expensive materials. Maybe they're offering a better warranty. Maybe they're offering it a whole year, as we do. As I say, I think everyone's got a different opinion on quality of bows. This doesn't just apply to bows, it applies to everything. Everyone's got a different idea of what quality is, what high workmanship is, and also everyone's got a different limit of what they're prepared to spend on something. I mean, some people will look at what I might spend on computer games or something and think I'm insane, or comics, or any other things that people have as a hobby, and think, wow, that's why would you spend so much money on such a silly thing? Well, you know, we do. We have our heart set on something, and that's what we're prepared to pay for. I think it suffice to say, people can charge what they want. If they can sell it at some exorbitant high price, well, good on them. You know what I mean? Don't knock them. And one of the things that me and my father and other people like us who've been in the bow making industry for a long time have tried to do is to raise the level of acceptance of bow making as an art, and try and raise the level of understanding of how much work goes into making a bow, and therefore to charge accordingly. If we hadn't put in that sort of work, you wouldn't have people being able to make bows for a living. If that price isn't there, if that equivalent price to the amount of hours that you put in isn't there, then there is no way it can be done as a living. Anyway, I'm rambling about that, but that's how I feel. And the only other thing really is James Bond. Have you seen the new James Bond? He's not helping, is he? Because you see, that's one of the things that helps with improving bows and how they're seen and gets people into it, is the movies. There's so many movies with bows and arrows in. Hawkeye with his bow, and that red-haired woman from the Disney thing. What was it? Brave or something. And Mockingbird 6, whatever it is, with the girl who can't shoot and she's doing that. Shooting like that. You know the one. But yeah, James Bond. Have you seen it? Is it any good? I'm reluctant to see it. I'm kind of fed up of the new James Bond, so I don't think I'll be bothered. But he should use a bow. Maybe he does use a bow in this one. I haven't seen it. What would it be like if James Bond did use a bow?
Oh, I'm sorry, Q. I seem to have broken your camera. Don't die on me. Action.
Right, yeah, okay.